How is politeness expressed differently across cultures? Imagine walking into a room and not knowing how to greet someone because your way of saying hello might be totally different from theirs. That's what makes understanding how politeness works across cultures so interesting. Every society has its own way of showing respect and friendliness, and these ways can vary a lot. In some places, like Japan or Korea, politeness is shown through very formal language and specific words called honorifics. These words change depending on who you're talking to, whether they are older, higher in status, or a stranger. For example, in Japan, you might bow slightly to show respect, and the level of the bow can tell you how much respect you're giving. In contrast, many Western countries like the United States or Australia tend to use simpler language. Politeness here often comes from tone of voice and choice of words rather than special forms. People might say please and thank you often, but they usually don't change their words based on social rank. Instead, they might soften requests with phrases like, could you possibly? Or would you mind? To sound polite. Another big difference is how direct or indirect people are when communicating. In many Western cultures, being direct is seen as honest and clear. If someone doesn't want to do something, they might just say no politely. But in some Asian cultures like China or Indonesia, people prefer to be indirect. They might refuse an offer gently or say, maybe later, to avoid seeming rude or causing embarrassment. Social hierarchy also plays a role. In cultures with strict social ranks, like in Japan or Javanese society, the way you speak to someone depends on their status. You might use different words or gestures when talking to a boss versus a friend. Showing respect through language and actions is a key part of politeness in these societies. Nonverbal cues are just as important as words. For example, in many European countries, children are taught to greet adults formally and use titles like sir or madam. Body language, contact, and tone of voice all help communicate politeness. Sometimes a simple nod or a smile can be enough to show respect. When talking across cultures, it's good to remember that politeness isn't just about what you say. It's about understanding what others expect and how they show respect. If you don't pick up on these cues, misunderstandings can happen. For instance, a direct no might seem rude in some cultures but perfectly acceptable in others. Learning how politeness is expressed differently helps us connect better with people from all over the world. It shows respect, builds trust, and makes social interactions smoother. Whether it's using the right words, gestures, or tone, understanding these differences makes a big difference in effective communication.